Welcome to the only daily podcast focusing on compliance news of the day. Each morning, start your day with a cup of coffee and Tom Fox, the voice of compliance, to hear about 4 of the top compliance, corruption, or leadership stories you will need to start your day. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
First, a word from this month's sponsor, Ethico.
In the delicate arena of compliance, every conversation matters. Traditional methods can leave callers feeling unheard, but Ethico changes the game. Our empathetic interview technique reshapes compliance calls into powerful, compassionate interactions, ensuring no crucial detail is missed. It's about creating a conversation that matters, that resonates, that makes a difference. Be the change in your compliance approach. See the transformation for yourself at ethico.com/CPN. Book a demo, try our free ROI calculator, and explore the white paper by Tom Fox, The ROI of Compliance.
Welcome to the Daily Compliance News for August 20, 2024, the No X in Brazil edition. And we begin with that story from the BBC as the company formerly known as Twitter, now known as X, has closed its office in Brazil over a censorship row. X says that its representatives were threatened if they did not comply with censorship orders. However, every country has its own view of free speech, and they're not all like the United States. And if X is going to operate in countries that have their own laws, it's going to have to follow their laws and not Elon Musk laws. So if you're in Brazil, maybe you're missing Twitter, maybe you're not. We'll see. Next up from Reuters. Ticketmaster and Live Nation are getting pummeleder as attorney generals from about 24 states are seeking treble damages against Live Nation Entertainment and its ticket selling unit Ticketmaster for monopolizing markets across the live concert industry. The DOJ and several states sued to break up Live Nation, which really has operated as an unrestrained monopoly for multiple years. So maybe they will get some damages out of it as well, and maybe that means all of us will get something. From the New York Times, Icahn has agreed to pay $2 million to the SEC to settle charges for failing to disclose he had personally pledged his own stock for collateral for margin losses worth billions of dollars. So $2 million really is not even a fly's bump on Carl Icahn, but he has settled with the SEC for this amount. So investors are allowed to pledge stock holding as collateral, though it can be a risk for shareholders, and you need to disclose it. And finally, the Washington Post has an article entitled "Whistleblowers Can Take Up to 10 Years to Get Paid by the IRS." So you have to ask the question, does the IRS even want whistleblowers? The way they treat them, you would have to conclude the answer is no, they don't. Every other government agency seems to be running towards getting whistleblowers and their information, but the IRS has a 20-year program, and it's always been complaints about its opaque and indeed lumbering process. So you have to ask the question, does the IRS even want whistleblowers? From where I sit, you would have to conclude the answer to that is no, they don't. So don't waste your time coming to us. At least don't waste 10 years. As I mentioned at the start of this podcast, this month's sponsor for the entire Compliance Podcast Network is Ethico. Have you ever wondered how to show the ROI of your compliance program? Have you struggled with the budgeting process, getting the funds you want for your compliance program? Well, I've partnered with Ethico to put together a white paper on the ROI of compliance, which shows you not only how to demonstrate ROI, but also how to speak finance when you're sitting across from the CFO with your budget proposals. Check out the website and get the white paper. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow.